They say Darth Vader was a servant of darkness, a weapon shaped by pain, a monster wrapped in black metal and broken prophecy. But that is only the story the galaxy was allowed to know. The truth is far more ancient, far more dangerous, and far more cosmic. Because Vader did not simply fall. He did not simply turn. He did not simply become a Sith. He unbound himself from every limit the Force had placed on mortal beings. He became something the Jedi could not predict, something the Sith could not control, something the Force itself struggled to contain. A dark titan whose very existence strained the boundaries of destiny. Tonight, we explore 20 forbidden theories, secrets that reveal how Darth Vader nearly broke the Force, and why the galaxy never recovered. Close your eyes, let the hum of a distant lightsaber drift across your imagination, and step into the shadow of the being the Force tried and failed to stop. This is Every generation meets Darth Vader for the first time, some as the terror of the Empire, some as the tragic fall of Anakin Skywalker, some as a myth whispered in temples where the Jedi once prayed. But beneath the mask, beneath the armor, beneath the fate written in prophecy, was a being the Force never intended to exist. Anakin Skywalker was the chosen one. But Vader was the mutation, the flaw in the prophecy, the crack in cosmic order, the one being whose pain echoed so loudly that even the Force bent under its weight. And throughout the galaxy, subtle disturbances, ripples in time, echoes in the cosmic web hinted that Vader's power extended far beyond what the saga revealed. These theories, these 20 fragments, reveal the true scale of what he had become. Let us begin. Theory 1. Vader was the only being the Force couldn't predict. Jedi believed the Force showed them possible futures, but they were moments, small, terrifying moments when the vision stopped. Yoda experienced it. Obi-Wan felt it. Sidious feared it. There were entire hours during the Clone Wars when the future was silent. No paths. No images. No currents. Just a void. The theory suggests that this silence was not the dark side, but Anakin himself. Because the Chosen One was born of the Force, he carried the ability to distort destiny simply by existing. When he felt extreme emotion, fear, rage, love, the Force folded in on itself, unable to compute what he would become. And after Mustafar, the effect intensified. Vader was not just a warrior. He was a tear in the timeline, a wound through which the Force could not see. That's why every prophecy failed. That's why no vision was accurate. That's why the chosen path shattered. Anakin broke the future. Vader broke the Force. Theory 2. The suit didn't weaken Vader. It contained him. The galaxy believes Vader's armor was a prison, a life support cage, a limitation. But what if the suit wasn't made to weaken him, but to keep him from annihilating everything around him? Sidious didn't fear Vader being too weak. He feared Vader being unstoppable. Because after Mustafar, Anakin's body was so saturated with dark energy that his emotions alone could ripple through the Force like shockwaves. His rage could kill, his grief could crush, his despair could warp. The armor wasn't a restraint, it was a seal, a device designed to stabilize his energy, prevent overload, and keep the Force from tearing itself apart in the presence of his pain. And here's the chilling part. Every time he removed the mask, every time he let himself feel, the Force trembled. Theory 3. Vader was the last Force giant. In galactic historians, ancient Jedi texts speak of beings called Force Titans, rare individuals whose connection to the Force was so overwhelming that they appeared massive in the astral plane. Their physical bodies remained normal, but their presence towered like mountains in the Force. Only a few have ever existed. The Prime Jedi, a forgotten Rockaton Emperor, or a dark prophet erased from history. And finally, Anakin Skywalker. When he became Vader, something strange happened. His physical form shrank, burned, broken, reduced, but his astral form, it expanded. Jedi who sensed Vader described a storm of vortex, a towering figure of a Ganya shadow with no end. It wasn't a man anymore. He was a Force giant, the last of his kind, the Dark Titan. Theory 4. Vader unconsciously drained the Force around him. There is a phenomenon known as Force starvation, places where the Force feels thin, weakened, or absent. During the Dark Times, this starvation spread rapidly across multiple star systems. Jedi claimed it felt like the Force was burning away. The official explanation: the rise of the Empire. But a hidden theory suggests the real cause was Vader himself. His grief was so overpowering, his hatred so consuming, that he began draining the Force unconsciously, like an inverted star collapsing inward. Wherever Vader walked, animals grew silent, air felt heavy, light dimity lost clarity, visions dissolved. Wasn't suppressing the Force, he was devouring it, not because he wanted to, but because his broken heart demanded it. His despair needed fuel, and the galaxy offered itself. Theory 5. Vader's aura could freeze Jedi minds during the reign of the Empire. Faint stories circulated among surviving Jedi, stories too unbelievable for the Order, but too consistent to ignore. Accounts described a chilling stillness that fell over any battlefield Vader entered. Not fear, not intimidation, something deeper, a kind of cognitive paralysis. Jedi Knights who survived encounters with Vader often spoke of their thoughts slowing, visions collapsing, instincts fading, and a sense that their connection to the Force was suddenly far away, like a candle at the end of a long tunnel. Asterisk, this wasn't a dark side technique. It wasn't a Sith mind trick. It was Vader's presence itself. The theory suggests Vader emitted a Force pressure field, a raw gravitational weight of dark emotion so powerful that it dulled the minds of Jedi around him, slowing their perception, choking their ability to anticipate or react. Vader didn't overpower Jedi. He disabled them. His presence was a psychic concussion, one that left even masters fighting at a fraction of their ability. It explains why so many fell instantly. They weren't outdueled. They were overwhelmed by the shadow of a wounded god. Theory 6. Mustafar altered Anakin's soul. Many believe Vader was born when Anakin Skywalker fell emotionally, but this theory argues he fell spiritually. Mustafa in just a volcanic world. It was an ancient, dark Force nexus once ruled by beings older than the Sith. Some texts claim Mustafar acts as a soul crucible, a world that burns not only flesh, but spirit. When Anakin's body was consumed by the fires, his identity fractured. His life force warped. His connection to the light was cauterized, pain imprinted onto the Force like a scar. The transformation wasn't symbolic, it was literal. Vader emerged not just as a new persona, but as a new metaphysical being, a soul reforged in flame, a consciousness reshaped by agony, a conduit for the darkest echoes of the cosmic Force. This theory claims Mustafar didn't just change what Anakin believed, it changed what he was. Theory 7. The mask spoke to Vader. Most see Vader's helmet as a life support system, a symbol of oppression and control. But an obscure legend suggests otherwise. The mask was a Sith conduit, inspired by ancient designs that allowed dark energy to whisper into the mind of the wearer. Sidious constructed it with forbidden rituals, ensuring that Vader would never be free from the dark. Mask would amplify memories of Anakin, would feel distinct pain, would be constant clarity, would always slip away. But here's where the theory becomes chilling. Over the years, the mask developed its own echo of consciousness, shaped from Vader's emotions and imprint, a residue, a phantom personality, not alive, but aware. When Vader paused, silently brooding in his meditation chamber, the mask wasn't quiet. It whispered. It pulsed. It remembered. Some believe it urged him toward darkness. Others believe it tried to protect him. But the most haunting possibility is this: the mask was the last remaining fragment of Anakin Skywalker's innocence, twisted, trapped, and forced to stare back at the monster he had become. A silent witness, a broken guardian, his own ghost, locked inside the armor. Theory 8. Vader's rage could bend matter. Most Force users push, pull, lift, or choke with the Force, but Vader displayed a phenomenon seen in no other Sith or Jedi. When he was enraged, truly enraged, the environment around him changed subtly. Metal warped lights flickered, hallways vibrated, static filled the air, storm clouds formed on ship exteriors, gravity felt momentarily unstable. This wasn't telekinesis. It was Force resonance, the idea that Vader's emotional energy was so overwhelming that it momentarily rewrote the physical properties of his surroundings. Some Imperial engineers recorded structural integrity failures in hallways Vader walked through during moments of extreme anger with no visible cause, not because he was using the Force consciously, but because his presence destabilized matter at an atomic level. Vader didn't just bend the Force, he bent reality, moment by moment, until his own pain became the architecture of the world around him. Theory 9. Vader could sense death before it happened. Countless Jedi and soldiers noted that Vader seemed to know when someone would die, often before they even drew their last breath. Officers fell in traps they never saw coming. Troopers froze in fear. Even before a lightsaber ignited. Entire squads vanished without warning. The theory claims Vader's connection to the Force had evolved beyond prediction. He wasn't simply reading the future, he was tuning into the quantum echoes of life itself. Every heartbeat, every neuron, every flicker of consciousness broadcast through the Force, where most Force users perceive strands of potential. Vader perceived threads of inevitable death. He didn't just fight enemies, he saw their expiration as a certainty, a cosmic fact, and when he struck, he became the executioner of inevitability. Theory 10. Vader's lightsaber was a conduit for the dark. Titan most think of Vader's lightsaber as a weapon, an extension of his will, but ancient Force historians suggest it was far more. The hilt and kyber crystal weren't ordinary, they were siphons designed to channel and amplify Vader's overwhelming dark energy. During duels, it absorbed ambient Force currents. It resonated with Vader's pain and rage. It could destabilize nearby Force users simply by proximity. In essence, every swing of Vader's saber wasn't just a strike, it was a shockwave of concentrated Force presence, capable of bending minds and breaking spirits. Some theorists even propose that the blade itself learned from Vader, absorbing fragments of his consciousness, like a sentient echo of the Dark Titan. Theory 11. Vader's redemption was predestined, but misunderstood. The official story frames Luke Skywalker as the catalyst for Vader's return. But what if the galaxy misread the cosmic equation? Some Force scholars theorize that Vader's redemption was not a single choice, but a predestined outcome of the Force itself attempting to repair the damage he had caused. The Force had already calculated that Vader's destruction would leave a catastrophic void. Only by returning to light, by sacrificing himself, could the cosmic balance remain stable. In this sense, Luke wasn't saving Vader, he was simply the instrument the Force had always intended, guiding the Dark Titan toward his final, inevitable act of cosmic correction. Vader's death was not just personal redemption. It was the Force reclaiming its fractured, broken anomaly. Theory 12. Vader could communicate across space without speaking, a hidden ability rarely discussed in canon. Vader's will alone could transmit thought, intent, or warning across incredible distances. Star systems reported strange premonitions during the Galactic Civil War. Imperial officers sometimes received instantaneous dread, a silent command echoing through their minds. Rebels whispered that Vader knew their plans before they were executed. The theory suggests this wasn't training, it was an evolution of the Force itself within him. His presence alone radiated control like a psychic beacon. Even without words or gestures, Vader's influence could bend decisions, direct movements, and paralyze minds. He didn't just occupy a space, he occupied the galaxy's perception itself. These first 12 theories already paint a terrifying cosmic portrait. Vader was unpredictable, he was a force. John, they could devour and distort life itself. His presence shaped reality. His death was cosmically inevitable. We are only halfway through. Theory 13. Vader could sense Force-strong children. Across the galaxy, legends suggest that during the Empire's rise, Vader had an uncanny ability to detect children who were strong in the Force. This wasn't limited to the Jedi he hunted. He could feel potential, even in infants and toddlers, across thousands of light years. Some theorists argue this ability came from his unique post-Mustafar connection to the Force. His trauma and transformation created a resonance that vibrated through the Force itself. These vibrations acted as a beacon, pinging future chosen ones, Force prodigies, and latent Force-sensitive beings. This explains why Imperial records often show Vader personally overseeing the eradication of certain younglings. He didn't just enforce the Emperor's will, he sensed cosmic potential and eliminated it before it could rise. It also hints at a terrifying truth. Vader may have influenced the birth and survival of Force-sensitive beings unintentionally, altering the galaxy's destiny long before his confrontation with Luke. Theory 14. Vader could manipulate time in the Force. Time is rarely seen as manipulable, yet ancient Sith texts claim that Force Titans like Vader could perceive time as a flexible thread, rather than a strict linear path. Certain precognitive visions he experienced were so accurate they seemed instantaneous. He appeared to anticipate events far beyond ordinary Jedi foresight. Some moments suggest he could nudge probabilities, subtly influencing outcomes across space and time. If true, it means Vader's actions were not just physical or emotional, they were temporal interventions, bending the galaxy's fate in microseconds that no one could detect. This could explain uncanny events, rebel fleets appearing exactly where Vader expected, certain allies surviving seemingly impossible attacks, the Emperor himself underestimating Vader at pivotal moments. Vader wasn't just in the present, he was operating across multiple potential timelines simultaneously. Theory 15. Vader was feeding the dark side of the galaxy. The height of the Empire, the galaxy itself seemed darker. Star systems felt weightier, life felt muted, Force felt thick and heavy. Scholars theorize this was not solely the work of the Emperor, but of Vader. His pain, rage, and despair acted as a galactic amplifier for the dark side. Every battle, every execution, every moment of anger broadcasted through the Force. In a very real sense, Vader was a living generator of dark energy, feeding the Sith's power indirectly. Without conscious effort, the Emperor may have thought he was the master, but in truth, Vader unwittingly fueled the dark side on a planetary scale, a power so vast that few could comprehend it. Theory 16. Vader's connection to the cosmic force was unique. Most Force users tap into the living Force, the present, or the cosmic force, the eternal. Vader, however, seemed to access something deeper, a hybrid resonance of both. He could sense events across time and space simultaneously. He could feel the collective anguish, triumph, and potential of billions of beings at once. His mind could process patterns that dwarfed the understanding of even the oldest Jedi Masters. This theory suggests Vader's connection exceeded any Jedi or Sith in history, allowing him to predict galactic events, sense hidden threats, understand the fabric of reality in ways no one else could. And yet, he remained trapped in human limitations, his body, his mask, his mortality. This tension, the godlike perception, trapped in a broken vessel, is what made Vader truly terrifying. These 4 theories deepen the cosmic legend of Vader. He sensed children across the galaxy who could manipulate time through the Force. He inadvertently fed the dark side on a massive scale. He was uniquely connected to both the living and cosmic force. The galaxy was not simply threatened by a Sith Lord. It was shaped, warped, and fractured by a dark titan beyond comprehension. Theory 17. Vader could harness others' fear as Force energized. Dark Lord of the Sith was terrifying not only because of raw power, but because he could absorb and weaponize the fear of others. Soldiers in his presence reported sudden chills, shaking, and dread, sometimes without seeing him at all. Jedi sensed pressure in duels that went beyond the usual dark side intimidation. The theory claims Vader did not merely instill fear, he fed upon it. Each death, each cry, each plea for mercy strengthened his connection to the Force. His energy became a self-reinforcing cycle. The more the galaxy feared him, the stronger he became. In essence, Vader turned emotion into raw cosmic fuel. This could explain why even when gravely wounded, he remained a Force giant, a being no ordinary Sith could surpass. Theory 18. Vader and the echoes of Anakin Skywalker. Vader became a terrifying entity. Anakin never fully died inside him. Small, hidden echoes of his former self occasionally manifested, especially near loved ones. Like Potten in memory, or Luke. Some Force-sensitive witnesses claim these echoes created unpredictable moments of hesitation or mercy. The theory proposes that Vader's identity was dual. The Dark Titan, the galaxy feared wounded. Unbroken boy Anakin, who survived in fragments. This duality made him both unstoppable and tragically human, a living paradox within the Force. Some scholars suggest it is this internal struggle that allowed his final redemption to occur, shaping the galaxy in a way no other event could. Theory 19. Vader's life was a galactic reset mechanism. Prophecy of the Chosen One is often misinterpreted. Most think Anakin was meant to destroy the Sith entirely, but some theorists argue that his life was designed to reset the Force itself after millennia of imbalance. Vader's journey fall, corruption, destruction. Redemption acted as a galactic scale calibration. His rage cleared corrupted channels of the Force. His fall amplified dark currents that would later be balanced. At his final act of self-sacrifice restored equilibrium. In this sense, Vader's very existence was not merely personal tragedy, but a cosmic instrument, allowing the Force to heal itself across the galaxy. Theory 20. Vader almost surpassed life itself. Some of the most speculative legends claim that Vader's transformation into a Dark Titan put him on the brink of immortality. His connection to the Force was so intense that, in theory, he could have anchored himself beyond his physical body. Sidious kept him alive artificially, but only because the Emperor feared what Vader could become if freed from mortality. Had Vader overcome the Emperor without intervention, he might have become a living Force deity, reshaping reality across the galaxy. This theory suggests Vader's near-divine potential was cut short by both physical limitations and his own hidden humanity, leaving the galaxy with only a fraction of what could have been a universe-altering entity. Cosmic conclusion. The Dark Titan. Remember, Darth Vader was never merely a Sith Lord. He was never simply Anakin Skywalker. He was a rupture in the fabric of the Force, a being whose existence challenged prophecy, destiny, and reality itself. He shattered timelines. He bent matter. He fed on fear. He carried echoes of a past self and glimpses of a future he could never reach. And yet, even in his final moments, that duality, the boy and the Titan, allowed him to restore balance. The Force had created him. The galaxy feared him. And in his death, he taught the cosmos its most profound lesson, that even the darkest power, when confronted with love, loss, and choice, can return to light. So, when we remember Darth Vader, we must not merely think of the black armor, the mask, or the lightsaber. We must think of the being who nearly broke the Force itself, the Dark Titan whose shadow lingers across time, space, and the hearts of every Force-sensitive soul. And somewhere, in the echoes of the Force, the galaxy still trembles at the memory of Vader. Unbound.